After winning their first championship in franchise history, the Denver Nuggets have let every team around the NBA know that they are now the top dogs and the team to beat. But what if I told you this is only the beginning of Denver's reign of terror? And even head coach Mike Malone said that he wasn't satisfied even after winning a title. "We're not satisfied," said Malone. "We accomplished something this franchise has never done before, but we have a lot of young, talented players in that locker room, and we just showed through 16 playoff wins what we're capable of on the biggest stage in the world." And he's right. They just dominated the best teams in the NBA and took down the best scoring duo in Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Then, next, they took down LeBron and AD, the best defense in the league. And then they capped it off by beating one of the most outstanding postseason performances ever, Jimmy Butler and the Heat. The only team who matches up well with them, at least on paper, is the Boston Celtics. And still, even they seem to lack the consistency and mental toughness needed to defeat a team like Denver. And that brings me to a conclusion. I think the Denver Nuggets will repeat, and I'll explain why. It starts with the former back-to-back MVP, Nikola Jokic. There is no other way to put it. Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world, and honestly, it's not even close. The other two candidates are Giannis and Joel Embiid, but both underperformed in the postseason and didn't get nearly as far as everyone expected. And sure, Giannis does have the injury excuse, and to his credit, he fought through it and played his heart out. But even with that being said, Jokic is just the better all-around player, plain and simple. He shoots better than Giannis from both the three and the free throw line. He's a better post scorer, better mid-range scorer, better passer, and arguably a better rebounder. And he's just more valuable on the offensive end because of it. Of course, Giannis does have him beat defensively, but other than that, Jokic's skill and abilities definitely outweigh the Greek freak. When it comes to Joel Embiid, he's a phenomenal player, but he just isn't made from the same cloth as Jokic. They're neck and neck when it comes to skill, but Embiid's impact on winning is questionable at best. He's had some really talented teams, but he's failed to get his team to the promised land year after year. So the biggest reason they could repeat is the Joker. He's unstoppable and he's only 28 years old and will be 29 near the Allstar break this upcoming season. The man averaged 30 points, 13 rebounds, and 9.5 assists while shooting 54% from the field, 80% from the free throw line, and 46% from three in the postseason. There isn't a single other player in the NBA who can pull off those numbers. His post scoring makes him impossible to guard. He was hands down the best post scorer in the NBA this season, even over 12. Jokic led the NBA in field goals made in the post and points scored in the post per game. His ability to be unpredictable is unmatched. He's a very unorthodox and awkward scorer, which makes it harder for the defense to guess which move he's going to make. And remember, he was being guarded by two top 5 defensive players in Anthony Davis and then Bam Adebayo. So the fact that he was able to still dominate while being defended by both of them is incredible. And honestly, I don't see that changing this upcoming season. He easily went through 2 elite defenses, and they made adjustments and adjustments and adjustments to contain him, and they just couldn't. Realistically, there isn't a defense in the NBA is built to slow down Jokic. The Heat and the Lakers are scratched off the list. The Warriors, they're just too small. And teams like the Kings, Suns, and Grizzlies are also just too small, and much too inexperienced to even bother him. At least AD and Bam Adebayo can provide some resistance to challenge him. All of the other teams out there in the Western Conference don't have that type of defender. And again, he demolished the Miami Heat, who are notoriously known for having the best team defense in the NBA. Then Jokic's passing puts the icing on the cake when it comes to him being unstoppable. Being elite at passing and scoring forces the defense to pick between the two. And when you're arguably the best passer and for sure the best post scorer, you can start to see why that is extremely difficult to stop. Either way, he's gonna put points on the board. It doesn't matter which of his strengths you choose to focus on. He's such a unique player that even one of the greatest defenders ever, Draymond Green, is amazed by him. This dude is so good, man. I haven't seen anything like him. The way he passes. You got a 7', 7'1" center bringing up the ball, initiating the offense. Everything goes through him. Amazingly, he passes from one side of the court to the other on time and on target. The bounce passes in between defenses. And it really is. His ability to pass is incredible. But while he is ample reason why I think the Nuggets can repeat, his teammates are just as crucial to my conclusion, especially Jamal Murray. In the postseason, Murray showed he could make big shot after big shot on the biggest stage versus the Lakers. He ultimately took the life out of him with his shooting from deep. He averaged 32 points and 5 assists while shooting over 40% from 3 in the Western Conference Finals versus the Lakers. Also, keep in mind he shot 40% on 9 attempts, which is insane. Like almost Steph Curry insane. The Lakers' defense could not stop him. They tried putting one of their best defensive guards, Dennis Schroeder, on him, and it didn't work. Then they tried to throw a 6'9" Jarrett Vanderbilt on him, and Murray did him worse than Schroeder. And while his points dropped significantly in the finals, averaging just 21, he did average 10 assists per game, which made up for it. The pick-and-roll tandem of Jamal and Jokic couldn't be stopped. They were too versatile and could do everything out of the pick-and-roll. And don't forget Aaron Gordon. He was ultra-effective too in the finals, averaging 14 points, shooting 60% from the field, and grabbing 7 rebounds. He is the perfect complementary player to put beside Jokic. He has tremendous feel as a cutter, and with that vertical, he can outjump anyone. It's a cheat code. Then he's only 27, so he's going to be at his athletic peak for at least another 6 years. And he's someone who can score a little bit in the post as well, so he isn't just always dependent on Jokic setting him up. His ability to crash the boards and get putbacks while also being dangerous in transition is a testament to what type of a player he is. Michael Porter Jr. didn't shoot or even really play too well in the finals, but the 25-year-old has shown enough this season to assure Denver fans he's a unique talent. He was one of the best shooters in the league. He was in the top 10 in catch-and-shoot threes and even ranked 3rd in catch-and-shoot shots. And I don't think I need to tell you why that elite shooting ability is valuable. And I know there's this joke going around about him not passing the ball, but that's really not his role. When the ball gets swung to him, all of the coaches, as well as his teammates, want him to shoot the ball. He's getting more comfortable off the dribble as well. And as he gets better and better as a one-on-one scorer, he'll make the Nuggets offense even more dynamic. Speaking of great shooters, Kentavius Caldwell Pope has been an incredible addition. The now 2-time champion is a streaky shooter who is more than comfortable taking big shots late in the game. Just like MPJ, he's getting better off of the dribble. There were times when he would make a pump fake at the 3 and take a couple of dribbles inside, pulling up for a mid-range and making it. He also took it to the rim on more than one occasion. And it's clear that Coach Malone instills a lot of confidence in them and allows them to play freely but controlled at the same time. The other reason the Nuggets could repeat is their defense, which really is the most critical part. During the regular season, Denver ranked 15th in defensive rating, right in the middle of the pack. So based on that alone, you might have thought that they'd get exposed just a couple of rounds in before ever reaching the finals. But they pulled off something I've never seen done before when the playoffs came around. They completely transformed into a lockdown unit. Denver had the best defensive rating in the postseason, which again is insane, especially given that they were just average in the regular season. And if you remember, at one point of the season, their defense was even worse than that. It was so bad that a lot of media outlets projected they wouldn't even make it out of the first round. Their defensive leader was Aaron Gordon. If there were a most valuable defender award for the playoffs, he would definitely win it without question. He, by far, had the most complicated job in the playoffs. He had the task of guarding Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, Kevin Durant, LeBron, and then Jimmy Butler. Not to mention he also defended Devin Booker and Anthony Davis quite a bit. Coach Malone even said he felt he doesn't get enough credit for doing that. Aaron Gordon is a prime example of somebody who's truly selfless. He understood that with Jamal and Michael coming back this year healthy, his role would change. He never once fought it. He's embraced it from day one of the season and gone out there, whether it's guarding Karl Anthony Towns, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, or now obviously guarding a guy like Jimmy Butler. He does a lot of the dirty work for us and often doesn't get the credit he deserves. It's true. And after gaining all of this experience, he's going to be an even better defender this upcoming season. And this may be a hot take, but I could see him being in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation or sneaking on to an all-defensive team. Now, will it happen? Most likely not, due to the league being filled with elite defenders, but it's possible. While Gordon was outstanding on defense, he wasn't alone, because KCP put on a defensive clinic versus the Heat. And need I remind you that he averaged 1.4 steals and 1.2 blocks per game in the finals as a guard. Whenever he was switched on to Jimmy Butler, he made it extremely tough for him to get a shot off. KCP's off-ball defense was also elite all series long. And we can't forget Bruce Brown played a part too, but he's no longer on the roster, so we're not going to dive into his contributions. But Christian Brown will easily step into his place on that end of the floor. When he received minutes, he was causing havoc to whoever he was guarding. He just had that factor on defense from all the elite defenders. There were also two other players who played great defense but aren't going to get any credit for it. Jokic and Murray were impressive, especially Jamal. His one-on-one defense was exceptional. There were times when he shut down LeBron James in transition, which is hard to do for obvious reasons. And the Joker played great defense on Anthony Davis at times, and had moments where he was solid protecting the rim, either contesting a shot or getting a steal. The Nuggets are simply stacked on both ends of the court. They really have no weaknesses after winning their championship. They're an elite shooting team, elite post-scoring and mid-range team, elite at moving the ball, elite rebounding, and, oh yeah, elite defensively. But what do you think? What chance do you give the Denver Nuggets to repeat with back-to-back championships? Let us know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.